2 nights before I was supposed to say, "I do," my phone buzzed with a notification that didn't make sense, and in that single moment, everything I thought I knew about my fiancé cracked. It wasn't a message, not a call, but a charge alert from our shared account. A luxury hotel downtown. At 11:47 p.m. My chest tightened as I stared at the screen. She had told me she was staying at her sister's place that night. I remember whispering to myself, "That's not possible. Is it?" But something in my gut already knew. It absolutely was. Her name is Emily, and up until that night, I thought I was the luckiest man alive. We had been together for 3 years, engaged for 8 months, planning a wedding that was now just 48 hours away. We weren't perfect, but we were stable. We shared finances, routines, even a stupid habit of leaving notes on the fridge. "Don't forget milk," she'd write. It felt real, grounded. That's why the hotel charge hit harder than it should have. Because nothing about us ever felt like a lie. Until suddenly, it did. We had agreed early on to keep a joint account for wedding expenses. Venues, catering, photographer, it all came from that pool. So when I saw the hotel charge, it wasn't just suspicious, it was undeniable. This wasn't a random glitch. I called her immediately, trying to keep my voice steady. "Hey, everything okay at your sister's?" I asked. There was a pause. Too long to be natural. Then she replied, "Yeah, why?" That hesitation wrapped around my thoughts like a vice. I said nothing about the charge. Not yet. Emily had always been careful, almost meticulous. She planned everything weeks in advance, triple-checked details, hated surprises. That's what made this feel so off. If she booked a hotel, there had to be a reason, but why lie about it? And why that hotel? It wasn't cheap. It was the kind of place you booked for anniversaries or secret getaways. My mind drifted somewhere darker. I shook it off, but the thought lingered anyway. "You're overthinking," I muttered to myself, though deep down, I already knew I wasn't. I tried to distract myself, but I couldn't stop checking the charge details. Room service included. Late night entry. It wasn't just a quick stop. It was a stay. Around midnight, I opened her social media. Nothing unusual. No stories, no posts. Too clean. I texted her again. "What are you up to?" She replied almost instantly this time, "Just watching a movie with my sister. Probably gonna sleep soon." I stared at the message, then back at the hotel name. "Yeah," I whispered. "That's not where you are." I grabbed my keys before I could talk myself out of it. The hotel was only a 20-minute drive. Every second on the road felt heavier than the last. I kept replaying her voice in my head, the hesitation, the casual tone. "Maybe it's nothing," I said out loud, gripping the wheel. But I didn't believe it. Not anymore. When I pulled into the hotel parking lot, my heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. This was the moment where everything either made sense, or completely fell apart. The lobby was quiet, dimly lit, the kind of place where secrets didn't echo. I walked up to the front desk, trying to look calm. "Hi," I said, forcing a polite smile. I think my fiancée might have checked in earlier, but she's not answering her phone. The receptionist glanced at the screen. "Name?" she asked. I hesitated, then gave it. She typed for a moment, then nodded. "Yes, she's here." My stomach dropped. "Room 412. I thanked her, though my voice barely worked. The elevator ride felt endless. Each floor number lighting up made my chest tighten more. When I reached the 4th floor, the hallway felt colder than it should have. I stood outside room 412, staring at the door. My hand hovered over the handle. I could still walk away. Pretend I never saw the charge. Pretend everything was fine. But then I heard a faint laugh from inside. A man's voice. My hand clenched. "No," I whispered. And before I could second-guess myself, I knocked. The door opened just a crack, and there she was. Emily. Her face went pale the moment she saw me. "What are you doing here?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I pushed the door open before she could stop me. And there he was, sitting on the edge of the bed. Her ex. The one she swore she hadn't spoken to in years. He looked just as shocked as she did. "You've got to be kidding me," I said, my voice shaking with disbelief. "It's not what it looks like," Emily said quickly, stepping toward me. I laughed, a hollow sound that didn't even feel like mine. "Really?" "Because it looks exactly like what I think it is." Her ex stood up, raising his hand slightly. "Hey man, calm down. Don't," I snapped, cutting him off. I turned back to Emily. "You lied to me. You told me you were with your sister." She shook her head. "I was going to tell you, I just—" "When?" "After the wedding. That's when she said something I didn't expect." "He reached out last week," she admitted, her voice trembling. "He said he needed closure before I got married." I stared at her, trying to process it. "Closure," I repeated. "So you booked a hotel room?" She hesitated, and that hesitation said everything. "We didn't," she started, but I cut her off. "I don't care if you did or didn't," I said, my voice cold now. "You came here. You lied. That's enough." I walked out before she could say anything else. I didn't yell, didn't make a scene. I just left. The drive home was silent, my thoughts louder than anything else. By the time I got back, I already knew what I had to do. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the wedding invitations stacked neatly in the corner. Everything we had built felt like a setup for a punchline I never saw coming. 2 days, I whispered. 2 days away from making the biggest mistake of my life. The next morning, she came home. Her eyes were red, her voice shaky. "Please just talk to me," she said. I didn't look at her. "What's there to talk about?" I replied. She stepped closer. "I didn't cheat," she insisted. "I just needed to see him one last time." I finally met her gaze. "And you needed a hotel room for that?" I asked quietly. She didn't answer. That silence was louder than any confession. "I can't marry you," I said, the word settling heavier than I expected. Canceling the wedding was brutal. Calls, refunds, explanations. It all felt surreal. Some people understood, others didn't. Her family tried to defend her. Mine stood by me. She sent messages, long ones, apologizing, explaining, begging. I read them, but I never replied. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't about whether she cheated or not. It was about trust. And once that was gone, there was nothing left to build on. Love doesn't survive in the shadow of doubt. It's been 8 months now. I've moved on, not completely, but enough to breathe again. Sometimes I think about that night, about how close I came to ignoring the signs. If I had, I'd probably be married right now, living a life built on something fragile. Instead, I walked away before it collapsed completely. And that's the lesson I carry with me. It's not the truth that breaks you, it's the lies you almost choose to believe.